Okay. So as I said, let me repeat. So we will do Python basics. Then we will do some data manipulations using Jupyter notebook. The packages that we will be using will be pandas and NumPy for data manipulation. Then Seaborn and Cufflinks will be using for data visualization. And then we will be using TensorFlow for neural networks and scikit-learn for regression, principal component analysis, then k-means clustering, and then there will be some OpenCV for image analysis, and then NLKT for natural language processing. Have you gone through these topics? So, are these terms familiar?
I know the terms, but I'm not familiar with the code.
Okay, no, that's fine. So that's why you're learning, right? And then in the end, either you can decide on Power BI or Tableau. So we can either do a Power BI or Tableau session. Okay. Okay. So now to give you a demo, so this is what we'll. So I'll give you a basic scenario. Let me first import a file. I'll explain what the file actually is, and then we can from there we can take it forward what we are supposed to. So for this particular demo, I'll be using Colab, which is a Google product. It is similar to Jupyter Notebook. So if you want the details of it, once you start class, I'll give you the details how to install Jupyter Notebook and how to install Anaconda, or if you
I've
want a
already
web.
installed Anaconda,
You
Jupyter
already have.
Notebook.
So
Yeah.
this is what. So I'm using Google's version of Jupyter Notebook. So Google has customized the Jupyter Notebook to do like it's basically Jupyter Notebook but sitting on Google servers. Okay.
Okay.
So first I'll import a file. So, but when you are doing locally using Jupyter Notebook, there will be a different kind of code. So once we start doing it, I'll show you all those details. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll choose a file first. Okay. So I will be importing these packages. So I'm importing pandas as PD, NumPy as NP, Seaborn as SNS, then matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So these are the packages I'm using. So this is basically to display the visuals in Jupyter Notebook. But as we go along, I'll give you more details on this one. So if I'm executing this, so I've imported this package. So once I've completed the import of this package, then let's first read the table that we imported, which is e-commerce customers. Okay, so first let's understand what this table actually is. So to read a certain CSV file, this is basically a CSV file. So we will use pandas to read CSV file. So now we are creating a data frame customers. In the data frame we will push the e-commerce, the entire table, the CSV file, everything whatever contains the e-commerce .csv, we will push that. So now we did create customers. Now we don't want to display the entire table, or I don't want to see the entire table. I just want to take a look at first 5 records. So I can do customers dot sorry customers dot head. So if I'm doing this, so by default I'll get 5 records, but if I can select like 7, 8, 10, so I'll get other records as well. So if I'm doing this, Okay, so this is what I have. So basically, this particular table has the customer information and their e-commerce transactions. Okay, so like for instance, this is the email ID of a customer. This is the address. This is the avatar. Like what is the theme they have selected? What is the average session they have spent on the e-commerce site? Then what is the time on app, like what was the time when they connected to the app, or how much time did they spend on the app? This is the average session. Then time on a particular website, maybe that app is bringing in data from multiple website or bringing in visuals, or the views are from multiple website. Then how long the each mail id or each client has been a member. Okay, and what is the yearly amount spent by each customer? Make sense?
Okay.
Okay, this is the data we have. Now, what is our objective from this data set? Basically, uh, we we want to push a product, or we want to see, like, depending on average session time, spent on website and length. I want to predict the yearly amount spent. Okay, so basically, I want someone to give me these four values. From these four values, I want to predict what will be that particular user's yearly amount spent. Any questions? Hello?
Yeah, yeah. I was listening.
Yeah, okay. So I want to see, basically, if someone comes in and gives me maybe
So value,
a person.
file value should be automatically calculated, right?
Yes, the year,
Yearly
no,
amount.
the yearly amount spent to be automatically calculated, provided someone gives me the first four
The
columns, like
value.
average session, time
Okay.
spent, and this. From this value, I'll calculate the yearly amount spent. Okay, I'll
Okay.
calculate the unknown values. Okay, so to
Okay.
do that, first we have to understand, or first we have to create a linear model, and from that linear model we will reuse to do some predictions. Okay, so let's go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so now before we even start jumping to the model, we will do some basic data analysis. Now, before we even do data analysis, we will do some basic data manipulation. From this table, I don't want the first three columns, because the first three column doesn't make sense. Uh, a color of a avatar, or wherever a person is staying, I don't think those factors in the amount of money or yearly customer spends. So what I'll do, I'll just eliminate the first three columns.
Okay.
So to do that, I'll use something like this. Okay, so from customers, I have selected average session, time, website, length of membership, and this. These are the columns I've selected. Then I have created another data frame, customer underscore reg. So if I am executing this, so now if I again go ahead and do customer reg dot, so head. So if I'm executing, so this is my data set that I've created.
One.
Okay, this is the newly data set
Okay.
I've created. So now I'll use this particular data set going forward. So first, let me create a pair plot. So pair plot, basically, I want to put in all the factors, like all the factors, and see how each column is interacting with each other. So if I'm doing that, uh, so now if I control V, so if I execute. Okay, so now if you take a look at it, you see how all the parameters have been interacting with each other. Like, you see on the x-axis and y-axis, we see different parameters. So this is, for example, yearly amount. This is how it's interacting with average session, then average amount of spend, then length of membership. So from this, what I see, yearly amount spent is more or less quite significantly related to length of membership. Okay, that's what I see right now. So we will, which all are the most important parameters out of this, those we will see once you start the actual class. But let me just go ahead and create a model now. Okay. So going forward for another analysis, so what I'll do, first I will check what is the yearly amount spent. What is the distribution of yearly amount spent across multiple users? So if I do that, so across the multiple users, if you see the maximum values, so most of the values have been distributed within four, I would say
400
little less than 400 till 600.
to 600, yes.
Yes, most of the values have been concentrated within this region, right? Sorry. So now the next step is to create a heat map to see like how different parameters are interacting. So if I create a heat map, okay. So now if you take a look at it, so different heat, so once I see different parameters, how they are interacting. From this you can see like this is a higher value, like, right? So 0.81. So yearly amount spent is highly likely, it's very likely it has a greater impact on length of membership. So it means like the more the time a person becomes a member, the greater amount or the greater yearly spend he will do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, from this heat map, that's what I can judge right now. Okay.
Okay. What was
So
it?
now
What map is that?
heat map.
Okay.
Okay. It's actually called we can create correlations inside the heat map. If you take a look at this, is displaying correlation values.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, this is two steps, but since we have limited time, so I'm just running through the codes really quickly. Okay. So now, so basically, we'll have to isolate the uh, 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 the the data set or the data frame into two different tables. So one will be your dependent table, one will be your independent table. So basically, one will be your dependent variable, and then the other one will be an independent variable. So out of these columns that we have, uh, sorry, out of these columns we have, let me just go through it. Okay, so from this column we'll have yearly amount spent will be dependent on all these four values. So yearly amount, I'll create one table for yearly amount spent, and then another table will have four columns which will have all these values. Okay, so that will be independent table. So yearly amount
Okay.
will depend on all these four values. Okay, now let me do that quickly. So if I just go ahead and bring that, so just like we created this thing, so I will isolate that, and then I've created two different tables, X and Y. Okay, X has from customer underscore reg, it has four columns, and then customer underscore Y is equal to yearly amount spent. Okay, now
Okay.
so we have created two tables now. So basically, whenever we are doing a linear model, so how we will understand like the model that we have created, is it good enough? So for that, what we will do, see at the beginning when we will get data, we will not have production data, right? So whatever data we'll have to work with it. So from that data set itself, we will isolate that data set into two parts, or we'll separate the data set into two parts. One part like 70%, it depends on the scenario. So normally what I do, 70% of my data I'll be using for training and creating the linear model, and then 30% I'll be using for testing my model. If I get a good value or good error value, low error value, it means my model is good enough for prod. So to do that, to split, I can even manually split that, but there is already an existing function available, so there is no need for manually splitting. So it's called train test split. Okay. So I'm importing that function. So it's called train test split. From train test split, let me show you the algorithm. So now, so if I'm doing that, so now if you can see, from train test split, I have created 4 tables. So for X, I have created 2, X train and X test. For Y, I have created 2, Y train and Y test. So X train and Y train I'll be using to train my model. Then using X test, I'll predict some values, and then I will compare the predicted values with Y test. Okay, making sense?
Okay. Okay, comparing two values, right?
Yes. So basically, X train and Y train we will be using to train our model. Then for using X test, we will predict some values. We have created a model, that in that model we have to pass some actual values, right? So when we'll pass the actual values, the model will predict, will give me some values, right? So then we will compare the predicted values with the Y test, which is the actual values.
Okay.
Okay. So now, so we will import the model linear regression. Okay, so we have imported the model. Now we will fit the model and train it. So we are just creating. Linear regression. And then we will fit. So fitting is basically training. So now if you execute. Okay. So here if you see train and split, so test size equal to 0.3, it means like we have separated our data set 30% as testing and 70% as training. Okay. So now our
Okay.
model is ready. So now we'll just go ahead and start creating the predicted values. So we can use something like this. Okay, so this is the table, or this is the data frame that will create the predicted values. So once we do that, so yearly spend predict. So yearly spend predict. Let's see how yearly spend predict looks. It's basically an array. So it will give, the output will be an array. So we have to convert that array either to a table or whatever we want. So this is the predicted values. Okay. So these are the predicted values. So we created a model. From that model, the model predicted some values, right? So these are the predicted values. Okay. So now we will compare the predicted values with actual values. So to do a comparison, we can compare it many ways. Like we can create a scatter plot. So, or we can find a mean square error, or we can create a scatter plot. So control B. So if I'm doing it, so now you see we are getting a scatter plot. Okay. So now you see most of the values are falling in a straight line. So it means like
Yes.
whatever the predicted values, the same are the actual values. Okay. So can you see a straight line here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And in the middle, so it means like these are the y-test is the actual values, then these are the predicted values. Okay, x-axis and y-axis. So since both are same, so they are falling in a straight line.
Okay.
Okay, so now from here I can say like my model is good enough. Now apart from that, I can also find something like this, a difference between actual values and predicted values. I want to do uh, 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 a, a distribution plot which is y test minus uh, yearly spend credit, basically the difference. So if most of my values will fall within zero, it means there are a lot of zero values. It means the predicted and tested values match, both are same, that's why it will be zero, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so now you see most of the values are concentrated within the central region, which is zero. So from this I can also say like the model that I've created are good enough. So let me also now find out some numbers. So I want to like find out what is the mean absolute error. So for mean absolute error, again I have to import matrix from scikit-learn. Hello, hello, hello. You there?
You're talking to me or you're getting a call?
No, no, I was talking. No, no, I disconnected. So you able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
thought you got a
I
call,
was
so you're
connected through
cutting that.
phone. No, no,
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
connected through phone, so I thought maybe we got disconnected. That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So from scikit-learn, I have imported matrix.
Okay.
So now, once we have imported matrix, then I'll find out the absolute mean error from matrix. So I just go ahead. So now this is 8.75. So this is the absolute mean error. So comparing the values, so depends. Now we can find the percentage error and all those things. So depending, so it differs for each scenario. Like if you're working with the hospital industry, the mean this may not look good. But if you're working like a data research or a sentiment analysis where you are we're finding out the numbers or finding out in terms of weightage or something, if you're finding out, then this is good enough. So it depends on different scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
any questions on this one?
No, we need to go deeper into it, right? So
Yes, yes,
it's
because
okay for the
it
demo. Yeah.
itself, yeah, because it itself involves like a lot of pandas, then then a visualization, so many things are there, then we reach. So I just wanted to show you like what you can do with different options.
Okay.
Okay, but this
Okay.
makes sense, right? You can predict
Yeah,
from this
yeah.
model, you can predict like exactly if someone comes in tomorrow and gives you like this is the average session someone has spent, this is the time on app website and all these details. From there itself you can what will be that person's annual spend.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So you we might get disconnected because I'm using a free version. uh, yeah, we still have 8 minutes, that's fine. Okay, so now that's one. Then I will share another uh, so I'll share another video with you. Let me just give me 1 second. I'll just share that video. want to take a look at my profile, you can go to my LinkedIn. If you search my name, Diamond Das, and then type in neural networks, you will find some of my published papers on neural networks and white papers on neural networks and data science. You will find all those details.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll do that.
Okay, I've shared you another video link.
YouTube video link.
YouTube video link. You just take a look at that video that has a demo on Power BI. But if you still want Tableau, reach out to me. I'll arrange Tableau for you. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Take a look at that video. Basically, it's both a visualization tool and Tableau is Power BI is really gaining grounds in terms of data analysis. So that has a lot of better features, I would say, in data analysis. Okay, so take a look at
Okay.
it. But if you still want Tableau, we will connect and I'll arrange Tableau for you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, not for now, sir. I just wanted to confirm the package details. I can call to Prabhakaran and discuss about it, right?
Yes, yes, yes. He'll be the best person to tell all those
Yeah.
details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.